In the early 1940s, the United States rapidly expanded its industrial capacity to support World War II. One of the largest efforts took place in Oregon, where shipyards along the Columbia River produced vessels for the U.S. Navy and Allied forces. To house thousands of shipyard workers, the federal government approved the construction of a new city called Vanport, located just north of Portland, Oregon. Construction began in 1942, and within months, Vanport became the second largest city in the state, with a population exceeding 40,000 residents. Vanport was notable for its racial diversity. At a time when housing segregation was common across the country, black and white workers lived in the same neighborhoods. Many African American families moved to Vanport from the southern United States to work in the Kaiser shipyards. Despite its rapid growth, Vanport was built on vulnerable land. The city sat below the level of the Columbia River, protected only by earthen dikes. Engineers and officials were aware of the flood risk, especially during periods of heavy snowmelt. In the spring of 1948, snowpack in the Cascade Mountains melted rapidly, causing river levels to rise to record heights. Concerns about the dikes increased, but residents were reassured by local authorities. On May 30th, 1948, a public notice informed residents that the dikes were stable and that there would be sufficient warning if evacuation became necessary. At 4:17 p.m. that afternoon, a section of the railroad dike failed. Water from the Columbia River surged into Vanport with immense force. The flood spread quickly through the city, lifting buildings from their foundations and sweeping away vehicles, buses, and personal belongings. There was no organized evacuation plan in place. Emergency warnings were not issued in time. Many residents escaped by climbing onto rooftops, trees, or debris while waiting for rescue. By early evening, most of Vanport was submerged. Entire neighborhoods were destroyed within less than 2 hours. The official death toll listed 15 fatalities, though historians have questioned the accuracy of this figure, citing incomplete records and displaced residents. Approximately 33,000 people were left homeless. Following the disaster, Vanport was never rebuilt. Federal housing authorities chose not to reconstruct the city, and the land was later absorbed into surrounding jurisdictions. Former residents, particularly black families, faced severe housing discrimination and limited options for relocation within Portland. Over time, Vanport disappeared from maps, school curricula, and public discussion. No major federal inquiry followed the flood, and public acknowledgement remained minimal for decades. Today, the former site of Vanport is occupied by infrastructure, recreation areas, and undeveloped land. Few physical traces of the city remain. The destruction of Vanport stands as a documented historical event shaped by human decisions as much as by natural forces. It reflects the consequences of rapid wartime construction, inadequate flood protection, and the long-term impact of displacement on marginalized communities. Vanport did not simply vanish. It was erased by water, policy choices, and silence.